Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Copeland, and I love supporting women on this journey of finding love after 50. And today we're going to be talking about the idea that maybe you are training men to not help you. But before we get started, be sure if you like this video, press the like button. And I'd love if you subscribe to my channel. It means so much. All right, let's get started. I always love telling a good airplane story because they are the perfect example of how men step up for you as a woman. And I know in a video recently, I shared an airplane story that might sound similar to the one I'm going to share today. But stay with me because you're going to get even more insight into men and how you might be training them to stop stepping up for you. A couple of years ago, I was on a plane going to California, and I was struggling trying to lift my bag into the overhead compartment. And a man behind me said, "Can I help you with that?" And I looked at him and I smiled with such relief, and I gladly said yes. I was so grateful he came along because I was beginning to worry I might drop that overfilled suitcase on the head of the lady sitting right below the overhead bin I was trying to use. That kind man took my suitcase and lifted it up as if it was as light as a feather. And I thanked him and I told him how much I appreciated his help. And truthfully, I'm sure that lady was also grateful to him because she'd been looking at me with fear in her eyes and she had her hands over her head before this man had stepped in. Now, what I want you to understand is at this point in the story, after I thanked this man, magic happened. And it always does when you thank and appreciate a man. Watch his body puff up with pride and joy. And I truly believe that if there had been room in that aisle for him to strut his stuff all the way down to a seat, he would have done it. And it's all because a woman allowed him to help her and then express gratitude for what he had done. Now, before working with me, many of my clients with really successful careers would have told this kind of man, "No, no, 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 thank you. I can do it myself." Because we've had to learn to do that. We get into survival mode. And I guarantee that man's whole body would have caved in a little bit from being pushed away from something he was wired to do, and that is to help you. Learning to balance the fine line of doing it all yourself and allowing someone to help you is one of the biggest problems women face. Why? Because they're calling the shots all day long and they think they will look weak if they let a man help them. But the problem is when you don't let a man help you, you're training him to do less for you and you're losing his cooperation. And a man's cooperation is something you need and want, especially in a relationship. When I work with clients, I always ask them to think about how they can make space in their lives to need a man. You see, men are wired to fix for you and to keep you safe, protected, and provided for. This makes men feel needed. And if there's one big takeaway from this video, I want you to really get that men need to feel needed. If a man doesn't feel needed, he moves on. When I share this concept about men feeling needed with my professional alpha clients, they get silent because they cannot imagine what this would feel like. For so long, they did have to do everything for themselves. And they do tell me they're tired of doing it all alone and they would love to have a partner who could do some of the heavy lifting, both physically and emotionally. In the past, many of these women had been married to beta males who expected these women to make all the decisions and take care of everything in their relationship. And over time, this exhausted them, and they began dreaming of the alpha male who would come into their lives and just take over. But it's just not as easy as it seems. To make room for an alpha male to come into your life, you have to be willing to let a man help you. And it means allowing yourself to receive from men. And this means making space in your life for a man to feel needed by you in some way. So I want to give you 3 little pieces of homework, okay? Number 1, give some thought as to why you might need a man in your life, not just why you want him. An easy way to learn to receive is to start asking men for their help on a daily basis, whether it's opening the door for you or picking up something you dropped. And number 3, thank and appreciate men when they help you and watch their body language literally shift before your eyes. It is the coolest thing. They really, really do want to make you happy. I want to share with you a quick note I got from a man about this video. And it's really, really important to understand that men really are wired to make you happy. And this is what he said. Thank you, Lisa, for giving women important guideposts in breaching the gulf between men and women. It is so refreshing to see a relationship expert who has an understanding of what men want and need and writes it in a direct and understandable way that women can use. I find your blogs and your videos very helpful and very sound advice to those of us trying to navigate the mature dating scene. And that was from a man named John in Indiana. And I get notes from men all the time saying this, that they really, really wished women understood them. And I know you want to be understood too. And it is important that both of you really work together to understand you are different and how you operate in the world is different. And as you listen to these videos or as you decide to work with me, and we work on it together, it will make such a huge difference when you get into a relationship and you navigate the challenges that come up, as well as the fun times too. Okay, know that I always, always believe in you. You've got this.